Today we're going to do a service on a Toro Dingo TX427 wide track. This machine, I believe, was made in the year 2008. And the service that we're going to do today is the same for a 427 wide track and narrow track. First thing we do is the air filters. There's your air filter canister here. Go ahead and take the cap off it. Take your old air filters out. This one used 2 canister air filters. This small air filter right here goes in first. Make sure that it's seated where it needs to go and not to push out the back end on the housing here. Sometimes that gets loose, and once you push it in, the back housing goes out. Just make sure that housing stays in proper shape. And then take your outside air filter and just install the outside air filter and over the top of the inside, push in and put your cap on. When you're all done, make sure that the vent on this cap, the bottom part, is facing the downward position. If you face it upward and you leave your hood open, rain can get inside and drip down into your engine. That wouldn't be any good. So that's for your air filter. As far as oil goes, to drain the oil, the bolt here, as you can see, it's got a bunch of dirt and stuff all over it. This one back here, I believe it's 11 16 bolt. Go ahead and take a wrench or a ratchet and remove that bolt, and then oil will start leaking out. It takes a little bit for all the oil to leak out of the machine. After all the oil is out of your machine, after that stops dripping, you want to come and remove your oil filter, which I just went to the wrong side. There's your oil filter right here. It's your engine oil filter. Go ahead and remove this oil filter. Probably want to clean up around here so you don't, when you put the new oil filter on, you don't contaminate the system with undue debris. So, okay, now all the oil is drained out of the machine and your oil filter has been removed. So we're going to install the new oil filter. I have a new oil filter here. It's ready. What I do is I fill it up with oil first and let the oil sink into the oil filter. This machine uses 10W30 gas engine oil. After that is filled up with oil, I'll take a little bit of oil, wipe around the O-ring seal, and then go ahead and install it on your machine. And actually, before you do that, after the oil is drained from your machine, go ahead and put your oil cap or your oil drain plug back in. So you went ahead and put in your new oil filter. Your oil drain is locked on. To fill up your engine with oil, there's your cap right here. Remove your cap. You probably want to clean it up so you don't get dirt and stuff inside. Remove your cap and fill in oil here. This machine takes just a little bit less, or just about 2 quarts of engine oil. It's a good idea to probably put in a quart and maybe a quart and 5/8 and measure, and then add up to the fill line. To check your oil, to see where your oil level is, your dipstick's on the other side of the engine, which is here. Pull your dipstick out to check. Here's another dipstick right here, and that I had already out of the machine. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. So I have to describe it to you. It's gonna have a fill mark on it, top to the F, and you want to be all the way to the line that says top to the F, which means full. After that, put your oil drain or your oil dipstick back in, and your oil is now done. I'm going to change the spark plugs on this machine, so pull your ignition module out, also known as your coil. Pull that out, put a wrench in here, or a ratchet, I'm sorry. Take that old spark plug out and then put a new one in, and put your coil back on your spark plug. You do that on both sides. This machine has 2 coils and 2 spark plugs. Good idea before you just do what I said to disconnect your battery. That's always a good thing to do. So now your plugs are changed, your oil's changed, your air filter's changed. Your fuel filter is over here, side where your oil is, and it's held on by 2 clamps. Go ahead and remove these 2 clamps, push them up, disconnect this filter from these 2 lines. Take your new fuel filter here, install it. Make sure that arrow is the direction of the fuel. So in this case, the fuel is coming from down here through the filter and then to the engine. So that arrow in this case should be pointing up because that's the direction of the fuel. Go ahead and put your, after you put it on, put your clamps back on, and then you're done with your fuel. And your hydraulic filter is towards the back on this machine. All right, battery. There's your hydraulic filter right here. Let's go ahead and take an oil wrench and remove that. And when I don't fill my new hydraulic filter up with fluid. Some people do, I don't. But before install it, take oil and rub it around the O-ring of this hydraulic filter before you install it, and then go ahead and install that. Good idea to check your hydraulic fluid level to see where you're at on this machine. Down here towards the back, kind of hard to see because I got lines in the way, there is a oil drain cap. Down here it's got a black knob on it. Go ahead and remove the knob. Underneath that is a dipstick. Pull the dipstick out, and your fluid level should be anywhere, kind of hard to see, anywhere in those X marks right there. If you're anywhere in the X marks, you're good to go. Too much hydraulic fluid can make the fluid come out of your machine when it gets really hot, or if you're at an angle. And then if you're way too low in hydraulic fluid, you can burn up your pumps and your hydraulic pumps and your hydraulic motors, and they're pretty expensive. So you want to be anywhere in those lines right there. And remember, on this machine I have my hydraulic arms up with my safety arm, which you should do first, so safety arm on your hydraulic cylinder. So there is a lot of fluid in these cylinders right now that are not registering on the dipstick. So for proper checking, you probably want to check it with these hydraulic cylinders all the way down, and that'll give you an accurate measurement of where you need to be. So we checked all that, and now it's just time to grease it. There's 12 grease points on this machine. So there's one here underneath this hydraulic cylinder, one there, one on the other side. You got one on your quick attach plate on this side, another one on the other side of the quick attach plate. You have one here at the top, on the top part of this cylinder, the tilt cylinder. You got another one on the other side of the tilt cylinder. It's back here where my finger is. You got two on your quick attach plate where you take your on and off levers off, two at the bottom there. And then the last four over here, when your arms are down, you'll be able to see it better. There's one inside here where my finger is, and then one inside this cavity on the top part of this hydraulic cylinder. Those are the two easy, or they're a lot easier to get to if your arms are down. So, and then there's two more, of course, on the other side. And we're done with the service.